Good morning. It's Wednesday, March 5th. And yesterday was a difficult day for me when I was trying to come up with this rant, because there were many interesting topics that seemed to be flashing on the screen in front of me. And I had to make a decision. So this is the decision I made. I'm going to talk to you about tariffs. I want to explain who pays them and how they work. This is important to know because Donald Trump just raised the tariffs on 3 countries, 2 friends, Canada and Mexico, and on China. Now, the tariffs that were raised on Canada and Mexico were increased by 25%, but the tariffs on China were doubled to 20%. It's important for us to understand who pays the tariffs, because many people do not realize that the country that is being tariffed, so to speak, they are not paying the tariff. Tariff is paid by the import. So that means that the company who is receiving the goods is paying the tariff. And that means that you, the public, are paying that tariff in the cost of the merchandise. Because when the importer sells that money, he adds it on to the cost of goods. That's not too complex a scenario for most of us to understand. So if we look at the big picture, we the people are paying the tariffs that President Trump has put on these countries to punish them. We the people are the ones who are being punished with the higher cost of goods and merchandise. Now, the thinking process that goes along with this is if the cost of goods is raised, then the importers will suffer, because that rise in the cost will cause the public to buy products that work exactly the same way from companies that are not importing them. So if you have something that is manufactured in the United States, there is no tariff on those things. Those things cost less, or should, and that's the key word, they should cost less. But I'm willing to bet you that if you are a U.S. manufacturer and the competition is being tariffed and the cost of their goods is going up and up, then why would you attempt to sell your product at a price that is significantly lower? The cost of tariff, in my mind, is a rise in the price of that good, whether it's imported or whether it's not imported, because the manufacturer in the United States is selling against a competitor. He doesn't have to be way below in order for his product to be purchased. He just has to be a buck or two below. So the cost of these tariffs are all on us. They are on the U.S. population and they are on the U.S. manufacturer. And even with the tariffs and everything, many goods that come into this country are much less expensive than it would be if they were manufactured here in this country, because we pay our workers more, and that increases the cost of goods. So if you have a country, a poor country, that is producing these goods, and the labor costs are much less than ours, then even with the tariff, it could still be a bargain. But the tariffs are not what they appear to be. They are punishment to us, the U.S. population. They are not a punishment to the suppliers, to China, Mexico, or Canada. They're coming out of the pockets of the people in this country, many of whom can't afford a lot of the merchandise that is being tariffed. So tariffs are a tricky business, but they are not good for the country. They are not good for the population, and they certainly don't really affect the importers that much. Now, it's true, if something is tariffed and it's raised the cost, and we, the importers, are paying those costs, we might decide not to import, and that could hurt us in certain areas. So my view on this whole tariff situation is that the wrong people are being punished. We, the population of buyers, are being the ones who are being punished more than anybody else. Now, it's true, these costs could affect the sales for certain companies. I don't doubt that for 1 minute. But in the end, I believe that it's the U.S. consumer that is getting screwed the most. So I leave you with this scenario. Tariffs and what they are and how they can affect your life. And if you can find a similar product that is totally produced in the United States, then buy it. And that will affect the tariff world also. Have a great day. Bye.